A ton of what makes this machine so extraordinary is that it reneges on a significant number of the disputable changes Macintosh made in 2015, with its presently scandalous MacBook Pro redesign. The touch bar, an element with a promise that was rarely conveyed, has been canned, various ports have been once again introduced, and the attractive Magsafe charging connector is back. In any case, the 2021 MacBook Pro 16 inches is something beyond a retrack. There are a lot of state-of-the-art increments here as well. The display, for example, is ProMotion and smaller than usual drove for great variety reproduction, while the silicon inside humiliates a large part of the versatile rivalry. However, is the MacBook Pro quite possibly of the best laptop you can purchase? Design and keyboard. Change design looks perfect. Expansion of a few essential ports, including SDXC, great keyboard and trackpad. The MacBook Pro 2021 comes in two sizes, 16 inches and 14 inches. I've utilized the two models throughout the course of recent months, and the primary distinctions between the two models boil down to the size of the display. You can, assuming you need, spec up the 14 inches model, so don't feel you need to pull out all the stops to get the best performance. The far-reaching material on the 16 inches model is great for video altering and other imaginative errands. I discovered myself seldom wanting to plug into an outside screen, the display being simply so great. However, as an essayist, I was influenced more by the versatile idea of the 14 inches model. Apple has worked really hard of conveying a design refresh, without freeing the modern appeal of which I was a fan with the past model. The two tones choices, silver and dark, remain, and I'd expect those searching for a more vivid machine will be cooked with the impending supposed redesign of the MacBook Air 2022. Around the sides of the machine, there's a far better choice of ports contrasted with the active model. You in all actuality do lose one Thunderclap 4 port, with 3 as opposed to 4, however you never again need to depend on them totally. On the right side, there's a HDMI 2.0 port and a SDXC card opening. With the more seasoned model, I'd become used to depending on a dongle to move snaps from my camera, yet it was consistently an irritating arrangement. Having a genuine SD card peruser here is extremely welcome. The opposite side has more Thunderclap ports, a Magsafe port and headphone jack. While the laptop accompanies a Magsafe charger, you can in any case charge through any of the 3 Thunderclap 4 ports. I like the additional protection the attractive Magsafe port offers, endeavored to stumble over it, and it emerges, be that as it may. Similarly, I can see the advantages of involving a solitary USB-C charger for a laptop, Android phone, iPad Pro, etc. It's ideal to see Apple give the client the decision. Macintosh rejigged the keyboard, with the past MacBook Pro, and the one here is practically the same. It's a delight to type on, with a lot of movement and very much measured illuminated keys. The touch bar has been dumped for regular capability keys, which is a move I'm a lot of for. The possibility of the touch bar was perfect, however it was never used properly by designers or Apple. Toward the finish of the capability line there's a quick touch ID sensor. Screen, fabulous board for HDR content. Indent isn't an issue. High splendor levels and 120Hz ProMotion. The redesign of the MacBook Pro 2021 go on into its display. Not just has Macintosh incredibly improved the nature of the board, however it has likewise changed the design to convey a considerably more current laptop. Before I get into the nature of the genuine board, there's a lot to examine as far as how it squeezes into the machine. I value now that the bezels are a lot slimmer, with the 14 inches screen presently squeezing into a body not a lot bigger than the old 13-incher. Different brands, eminently Dell with its XPS 13 line, have been doing this for some time, and I previously felt the more seasoned 13 inches MacBook Pro felt tired in examination. However, the most disputable part of the MacBook Pro 2021's design is the indent. This extends out into the display and houses the improved webcam. In the event that you've utilized a new iPhone, the iPhone 13, for instance, you'll know about the score and will probably have an assessment on it. Having utilized the MacBook Pro 2021 for various months at this point, I can't say the score has obstructed my work by any means. It vanishes into the status bar more often than not, and is covered by the dark bars while your real-time video. The explanation the indent exists is basic: the webcam. Past MacBooks, both Air and Pro, have what in general accompanied horrendous cameras. Telecommuting and virtual gatherings have become more normal during the pandemic, so the requirement for better quality video has developed. It's a steady employment then that the 1080p webcam here offers a critical improvement on some other MacBook Pro I've utilized. It's much more point by point, with better performance in low light circumstances. It isn't exactly comparable to the phenomenal webcam on the iMac M1, yet it takes care of business. Apple has moved away from IPS LCDs, rather fitting the two models with a smaller than expected Drove display. This offers critical improvements in various ways. For one's purposes, This new Fluid Retina XDR display can convey a consistent 1000 nits of splendor and 1600 nits while you're watching HDR content. Fire up a HDR video. I utilized SharpEdge Sprinter 2049 as a test, purchased and spilled in Dolby Vision from iTunes, and you can see that additional splendor get going in the more brilliant scene. Having this brilliant HDR backing will be welcome for those wanting to accomplish a total HDR work process. These scaled-down LEDs boards can likewise give a comparative focus on OLED displays, with exceptionally profound and Inkai blacks. Pop this MacBook Pro close to the more established model, and the LCD board of the previous looks cleaned out in correlation. Apple actually isn't offering a 4 Kelvin goal, something you can get on different Windows choices. Nonetheless, that is not really an issue. The 3024x1964 goal on the 14 inches and the 3456x2234 goal on the 16 inches model are both extremely sharp and itemized. The last piece in the jigsaw is the 120Hz ProMotion refresh rate. Like ProMotion on the iPad and iPhone, the tech here is versatile, inclining up the refresh rate when it's required, or down when it's not. I need to express that while all that feels exceptionally smooth, ProMotion and the 120Hz refresh rate aren't, however, recognizable here as they may be on touchscreen gadgets, where you're straightforwardly connecting with the screen. Note that certain applications don't appear to be ready to exploit the quicker refresh rate. By the same token, performance, a decision between M1 Pro and M1 Max chipsets, an exceptional entertainer in all cases. Bunches of customizations accessible, albeit just before you purchase. While I've been shining about the design, keyboard and screen of the MacBook Pro 2021, it's actually the performance that is the key update. This is whenever we've first seen Apple use a genuinely lead ARM chipset, and it addresses a key stage in the change from Intel to Apple Silicon. While it was only the M1 presented with the past MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro, there are two chip choices this time, the M1 Pro and the M1 Max. This survey will cover both, to offer a decent sign of the performance measurements across both. Moving over to the 16 inches variant. The least expensive model here incorporates a M1 Pro pressing a 10-center computer chip and 16-center GPU. Then, at that point, there's the M1 Max model with a 10-center computer processor and GPU. Obviously, you can tweak these however much you might want, increasing the memory, stockpiling, or picking the right processor for you. The 16 inches model accompanies the M1 Pro and is somewhat more unobtrusive with regards to specs. It has a 10-center computer processor, 16-center GPU, 32 gigabytes of Smash, and a 1 terabyte SSD. This addresses a lower end, yet it's as yet a really fit machine. Battery duration, quick Magsafe attractive charger included. Up to 140W charging on the 16 inches model. Extremely great perseverance no matter how you look at it. Battery duration has dazzled me over the course of my experience with both the 14 inches and 16 inches adaptations of the MacBook Pro. Perseverance can't exactly match that of the M1 MacBook Air, however it is relatively close, and there's a sizable amount of juice here to keep you agreeable. So, the 16 inches model performed better compared to the 14 inches M1 Max. Apple asserts the 16 inches can keep going for close to 21 hours of disconnected video playback. I had the option to match this in the event that not beat it on various events. Obviously, the times when you'd have to transfer this much disconnected video in one go are probably going to be negligible. However, it shows that with everyday undertakings, this laptop will continue onward. Finally, thanks for watching this video. See you again next time.